Joining us now live from Tbilisi is Tkeshelashvili. She's the former Deputy Prime Minister of Georgia. Thank you so much for joining us here on the program today. Now, we witnessed
Hello.
a special session at the EU Parliament yesterday where very powerful speeches were made, including the one of President Vladimir Zelensky. And the EU has now vowed to fight Russia till they stop attacking Ukraine, and even to bring in measures that would block Russian aggression from happening in the future. But what more can the EU do at this stage?
I think what we see now is an unprecedented unity globally. It's not the unity of the EU only, it's not the unity of the transatlantic, it's the unity across the globe. I have to mention here as well role and importance of cooperation and support from Turkey as well to Ukraine, and that has been seen all across Ukraine and valued quite a bit. I think what we experience as of now is the end of desovietization. That's how I would call it. It was the greatest mistake after the dissolution of the Soviet Union to allow the concept of succession of the evil empire to emerge. And what we see now is the last stage of that empire falling. We see that revisionist policy of Putin is not succeeding. Freedom and independence is valued more than anything in countries and in republics that have emerged from the rumbles of the Soviet Union. My own country as well in 2008 had to go through invasion of Russian military. We sustained independence at the time with the help of our partners as well. We have not managed to prevent occupation of our territories from Russia. The world watched almost silently continuation of that occupation for quite some time. We could not manage to prevent, unfortunately, neither 2014 nor the war that is ongoing now. But what we can manage now with common efforts to stand by Ukraine and with helping Ukraine to end that evil empire now. Russian people themselves have the right to become free at some time, but then until now, until they support the regime that puts them in the situation when they wage war against neighboring country, against civilians, women, children, elderly. They are accomplices of this situation. And then if they have any concerns now why economic sanctions will hit them in their everyday life, they need to question, are they ready to continue to live in the country which is governed by a dictator, which is governed by the man who can order attacks on civilians?
I want to ask for your analysis on the moves Russia has made till now and what Putin's possible endgame could be. Georgia was part of the Soviet Union as well and was under Russia's thumb for years. Do you think Putin plans to sort of resurrect the Soviet Union?
He planned, but then we see that it failed. There is no chance for that to reemerge in any ways right now. Russia is becoming a pariah country. Even in private sector, look at what is happening. Major companies are refusing to deal with Russia. Countries are boycotting Russian products. And it's the choice that they make rather than imposition based on sanctions. The world is saying no to the dictatorship of Russia. The world is saying no to enable Russia to continue to rule in the way that Russia wanted to rule inside of Russia or outside of Russia. And I think one important thing just to bear in mind now is that the myth of almighty Russian army is diffused right now. We see that freedom-loving country with much smaller army, but dedication and commitment to defend their freedom are able to defend and stand and then don't roll over, as President Biden mentioned. And what we need to do now to help Ukraine is to give them capacities to fight back. Economic sanctions are very important. It will limit to the minimum ability of Russia to wage this war. It will show the pain to Russian oligarchs and then all those enablers who have been helping Putin for all these years to develop the revisionist policy. But Ukrainians need to have capacities to fight back, ammunition, including air defense, missile defense, and then capacities that will enable them to defend their own civilian population. Russia can only wage war by carpet bombing, but not by capable, real, good military force, which they don't have, as it appears.
And that's what we're constantly hearing from Ukrainian diplomats, that they need humanitarian aid, more tougher sanctions, and of course, more military assistance, military equipment, much needed for the people in their country to fight back. Now, the European Union also welcomed Ukraine's request to join the EU. We saw Zelensky sign the declaration yesterday, but normally for a country to become a member state of the European Union, it's a long, long process. Can we see that change, though, for Ukraine, given the current situation it's in?
I think the words of the President von der Leyen express it very clearly when she mentioned that Ukraine is part of us. And that's the decision that Europe made. Ukraine earned that, and Ukraine is seen as part of Europe. And as to be honest, as an inspiration for Europeans, which had their own internal troubles, right? Fragmentation of the political spectrum, populist movements emerging. Europe is united now, and it's Ukraine who united them by showcasing that values and principles that have underpinned the creation of the European Union are valued in the country so much that they are ready to fight for it with their blood and then defend that freedom, values, and principles. And this is very powerful. This cannot not inspire in this case. This is a decision that is irreversible in my mind. I just wanted to underscore that in the region, there are very interesting initiatives as well. As soon as President Zelensky expressed his willingness to negotiate on a ceasefire unconditionally, so that there would have been a possibility of halting that devastating ceasefire. In our own region, President of Azerbaijan expressed his willingness to host talks dedicated to that cause. And that has been supported quite a bit by leaders worldwide as well. So in any case, with whatever we can, by providing neutral territories for peaceful negotiations as well, when the time comes for that, everybody tries to contribute and then to assist right now to the cause of maintaining freedom and sovereignty of Ukraine and defending civilians that are heavily attacked by Russian forces now.
All right. The former Deputy Prime Minister of Georgia, Tkeshelashvili, thank you so much for joining us here on Tier 2 World and sharing that analysis with us.